Hi friends, my name is Haley Comet and welcome to my cosmic corner of the internet where we discuss all things astrology. And today, North Node in the 4th house, South Node in the 10th house, how understanding this placement in your natal chart is the key to unlocking where you are naturally quite gifted and where is a challenge for you or where you are meant to go to in order to grow. We're illuminating it all, but before we dive in, if you could do me a favor, if at any point during this video you find a shred of value or knowledge, I would so appreciate if you wouldn't mind dropping a like, subscribing, turn the little notifications on. It really helps me keep this cosmic videos coming. And without further ado, let's get into the video. If you have North Node in the 4th house, that automatically means that you have South Node in the 10th. And 10th house and your South Node is actually quite important. Oftentimes in modern astrology, it's written off as, oh, you've got to release the 10th house and embrace the 4th and like don't stay in the 10th house. And to a certain extent, they're right in that 10th house is where you're naturally quite comfortable. And it's like you can stay there if you want to, you know, be comfy, but then what's the point of life if we're not growing and evolving? So first we need to unlock 10th house and these natural skills and abilities that you bring forward. And with a South Node 10th house, like you are someone who may naturally be drawn to career, to positions of power, to being known. You could have always dreamt of being a celebrity or wanted to be in the public eye. To you, success looked like people knowing your name and regarding you as successful. And for you, it's nearly kind of embarrassing if you don't live up to your own standards of excellence or success for yourself. It's almost like, well, if no one validates me or knows that I do these efforts, like what's the point of life? Like my point of life is to be known and be acknowledged as someone who is more successful. North Node in the 4th house suggests that the realm of home and family and emotional state might be something you're not as comfortable with. If you believe in past lives, a South Node in the 10th house would represent someone who in a past life carried a high degree of power, who was someone who was quite successful, who could have made their entire reality around their work and who they were known as. So in this lifetime, you carry with you this feeling of authority, like you should be the one in charge, like you've got to be successful and you've got to be known because you've done that before. And you might notice that you are more kind of gifted in career-like circumstances, or you might have authority problems because in past life, like you were the authority and you're carrying with that this high degree of power. And while we shouldn't stay there in the 10th house, we should definitely appreciate it. So appreciate the parts of yourself that are authoritative, that are more drawn to success and career. And by no means am I saying that this placement means that you won't have a flourishing, amazing career and even be known. It simply means that with the North and South Node, I think of it as this balancing act. So for you to also have, your career, you have to balance it with 4th house, which is home, family, emotional state. And if you believe in past lives, this would suggest that you were so busy in past lives with your career or who you were known as or attaining success for yourself that you didn't have time or you simply didn't prioritize having a family and building a home for yourself. It was all about how things looked like and achieving results, and perhaps family was something that you neglected or ignored. And in this lifetime, you might even, early in life, you could push against family. You could not resonate with your family. You could push your roots aside, push your culture aside, because it's just something that you're not as familiar with in what it means to be part of a family and building, a strong family for yourself, a strong root for yourself. In this lifetime, you are encouraged to learn the lessons of family. Now, if you do have a tough relationship with your family, by no means am I saying that you need to go like forgive them all, because North Node in the 4th house means that family is a theme, so you've got to forgive them. Sometimes it's not appropriate. But I will say with North Node in the 4th house, finding some sort of closure perhaps for yourself if you do have some kind of toxic relationships with family members. And that doesn't mean having to, mend the relationship, but having some sort of closure. And it could be diving deeper into your ancestry, into your roots, into your home country, into your culture. And if you're adopted, it could be, learning more about the country that your birth parents are from, or where, what lineage you are of. In diving into these deeper questions of like, where am I, from? A lot of times with North Node, fourth house, part of their kind of soul mission here is to break some ancestral trauma, or to break some kind of family themes that have been passed along from person to person to person, which is why it's so encouraged for you to dive in and explore those themes, explore where you come from, explore your heritage. If you have that information available, exploring your ancestry, those individuals, what their lives looked like, and how they could have passed, their traumas, their challenges, and even their gifts and their desires to each of the people. And it could be, if there's something rather toxic in your family lineage, that you're the one who's intended to break that pattern, and to heal that aspect. Another kind of realm outside of, the family that you're born in is the family that you create. So you might be someone who's like always been on the fence about having a family, like you don't know if you want kids, you're not sure if that resonates, like you're not really that into tradition. But with North Node in the fourth house, it is encouraged, and I'm not saying you have to have children, but it is encouraged that you build a home for yourself and learn a deeper kind of expression of home. Like, you might be someone who's always at work, so you just, have random posters on the wall, and that's as far as you got into with decorating. With North and fourth house, it suggests that your soul desire is to build a nest, to build a sanctuary. It could have been past lifetimes you were too busy working and like traveling and like being this known person, you didn't have time to really build a sanctuary in which you nurtured yourself and nurtured other people. It could be taking care of people, taking care of plants, taking care of animals, taking care of children. That's one extension. Not saying you have to have kids. It's, not for everyone. But with North Node and fourth house, it does mean that you're learning how to create this home base, as well as how to create privacy for yourself. As I mentioned, with South Node in 10th house, you could have been someone who was, famous in some regard, or had a lot of kind of business out there in the public eye. And in this lifetime, you're encouraged to kind of learn the beauty and the sacredness of keeping things just to yourself, of being more of a private individual and not, sharing it all out there. Other themes could be, pushing away the family business, because you're like, no, I need to go out and do it for myself. I need to be known. I need to be more successful. I need to distance myself from where I've come from in my family. But you're actually encouraged with this placement where it's more soul supportive to dive into the family business. Another theme could be owning property or dealing with property, rather than building in the outward world, like kind of building homes and sanctuaries, and perhaps the family business or other elements of your family. Perhaps, if you do have an amazing relationship with your family, developing that relationship, maybe being closer to them. There could be this part of you that feels like you need to move away from home and make it for yourself. But, family is an amazing thing if you have a good relationship with them to be close to kind of build together and to take care of them and to learn their wisdom so you could pass it down to your children as well. Other themes would be, learning how to cope with your emotional state. With North Node in the fourth, it could have been in past lifetimes, it was so concerned with, well, how does it look? How does it look? What do people think about me? How do I look? And they weren't as concerned with, well, how do I feel? How do I feel in this? And in this lifetime, it's not saying that you can't have this amazing career. It's simply that before you can have this incredible career and be in the public eye, you have to learn what it is, who it is that you are, and what it is you truly need to be happy, and how to kind of get in sync with your emotional state. Like, when am I the happiest? When am I the saddest? And how can that kind of inform the life I want to co-create and the work that I want to pursue? And that needs to come first. So North and South Node, rather than one thing that you're releasing and one thing that you're, moving towards, I always think of it as a balancing act. It's like, in order for you to, have this authority and this career that you're naturally actually quite good at and quite drawn to, you need to first learn your foundation, how it is you take care of yourself, the sanctuary that you built, where you came from, breaking, generational patterns that have been encoded into you in order to fully live that 10th house. Because if you kind of stay in that 10th house and just ignore your emotions, ignore where you come from, and just seek this validation via everyone knowing who you are or via success, success is simply going to elude you, because for your particular chart, for your particular path, it's essential for you to first come inwards. Look into your past, look into your family, look into your roots. Things of the nature. Friends, what questions do you have about North Node in the 4th? I'm so happy to answer them. Just pop them down below. If at any point during this video you enjoyed it, if you could do me a favor, drop a like, drop a comment, turn the bell on whenever you feel drawn to. My Instagram handle is @HaleyCommentAstrology. I post a Monday morning astrological insight for the week ahead every Monday morning, so you can know what the cosmos are up to and how you can bob and weave accordingly. And I hope you all have the most beautiful week. Drink lots of water and stay cosmic.